The NYTD Review. Introduction to the NYTD Review.
United, together we can spread the word so the foster youth voices can be heard.
To make sure states are capable of collecting, analyzing, and using NYTD data, the Children's Bureau created the NYTD Reviews. The purpose of the reviews is to comprehensively evaluate states' policies and practices related to collecting and reporting reliable and accurate data on youth in transition. The reviews also assess states' survey methodology, or how the data are collected. Let's discuss how we assess states' data collection efforts through the NYTD Reviews. NYTD data represent real young people, so it is important that all the information collected about them is accurate. But how do we determine whether the data are both accurate and reliable? Remember, these data are important in identifying the services provided to youth and the outcomes youth are experiencing. That's where the reviews come in. The NYTD Review was developed to evaluate the accuracy and reliability of data on youth in transition. Part of this review assesses a state's methodology, or the process it uses for collecting and reporting NYTD data, consistent with federal requirements. The review is completed by a team of state and federal reviewers with backgrounds in data and technology, evaluation, and policy and programs for youth. Young adults also participate on both the state and federal teams. Let's take a look at the goals of the review. There are 4 main goals. First, the NYTD Review looks behind the data to understand and assess how the state collects the information, how accurate, complete, and reliable that information is, how the state works with youth to get the information, and how the state is using that information to improve services and outcomes. The second goal is to provide technical assistance and support to states with data collection, youth engagement, and data analysis. For example, let's say the federal team learns that the state is having a difficult time getting youth to participate in the NYTD survey. The group may discuss ideas for how to improve the survey effort, such as rewriting the survey instrument using youth-friendly language, providing incentives for taking the survey, or getting help from other young people to promote the importance of the NYTD survey. The third goal of the review is to begin documenting and highlighting best practices. In other words, what's working. Finally, the NYTD Reviews support states' ongoing efforts to continuously measure the quality of services provided by determining the impact those services have on children and families. Collectively, we call these efforts Continuous Quality Improvement, or CQI. The NYTD Reviews are an important opportunity to discuss the role NYTD data plays in a CQI system and the role young people play as stakeholders in that system. As stakeholders in a CQI system, young people play a vital role in helping decision-makers analyze and use information to drive changes within an agency to improve outcomes for other young people. Now, let's take a look at what is involved in conducting a NYTD review. The NYTD Review is divided into 3 phases: pre-on-site, on-site, and post-on-site. In the pre-on-site phase, which occurs about 4 months before the reviews begin, the Children's Bureau conducts a series of planning calls with the state. and the state prepares and submits documentation describing how NYTD data are collected and used in the state. The on-site phase, which lasts 4 days, includes the review team conducting a demo of the state's data collection system, a review of the state's survey methodology, and a review of actual case records of young people served by the state. The federal team conducts stakeholder interviews with youth, caseworkers, and services providers to learn more about the state's capacity to collect and use NYTD data. Following the on-site phase, the post-on-site phase begins. This is when the review team prepares their report to document their findings. The final review report is shared with the state about 90 days after the on-site review. Within 30 days of receiving the final report, states submit the initial NYTD Improvement Plan to the Children's Bureau. This plan describes the state's strategies and timelines for improving NYTD data collection. United Wrap, written by foster care alumni Kim Rose and Janae Swain, along with help from the state of California, California Department of Social Services, CDSS. Performed by Janae and Kim, the West Coast Flow. For more information, visit https://www.fosterclub.com/article/u-NYTD-RAP. This video was developed in partnership with the Administration for Children and Families, the Children's Bureau, an office of the Administration for Children and Families, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The end.